Well, Stephen, did you say you were last? If you have power, then what do I have? All right. And I'm going to exercise a little bit of that power, parents and students, by doing things slightly out of sequence, probably from what you practiced yesterday. You've all been very patient, and it's been wonderful to see these beautiful pictures of you beautiful young people, and also to see younger looking older people that are sitting right behind you. Anyway, I would like to do the presentation of the diplomas at this point. So students, if you would please come forward and then turn around and face the audience. And parents, if you will come forward with your diplomas for your student. While the parents are being seated, I do want to actually address a word to them and to all the extended family and friends that are here as well. James, at the very beginning, thanked me and mentioned that this event was a parent-run event, which it is, and I really appreciate the way that this has been done. Wendy, especially thanks to you for all the work that you did. And also, most importantly, I want to thank you on behalf of all the Live Oak Academy staff and teachers for allowing us to share the journey of education with these wonderful young people that we've been able to partner with you on. It's been a great, great privilege. All right, do you guys think you have stamina to stay? My speech will be about as long as yours. You can do that? All right. Oh, this is amazing. All right. All year long, this year in Laudes, for those of you who've been able to come, I've been going through the book of Proverbs. And I decided I would go back and look at my 60-some-odd pages of notes and select something from the Proverbs to give to you as a charge. And I came up with Proverbs 13:12 and 13:19. Let me read them to you. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. A desire fulfilled is sweet to the soul, but to turn away from evil is an abomination to fools. I chose these proverbs because today is a commencement, which is a beginning. It's a time for beginnings. Among other things, it's a time for you to take a new step toward the fulfillment of some new desires. Now, some of the desires that may seem like you're thinking about today, things like a desire to go to this or that college, to be successful in this or that college, maybe to get a job, maybe to get your own car, maybe a desire to live somewhat more independently than you have been. These are important desires, but I think that Proverbs 13 is pointing to something deeper. Bruce Waltke, who's one of my favorite Old Testament scholars and was on the translation committee for the book of Proverbs for the New International Version of the Scriptures, says this about Proverbs 13:12. He says that the word desire is, or quote, it denotes an aspiration deep in one's personality. Here today at your graduation, we celebrate you at a stage of life when some of those deeper desires are just beginning to blossom and focus. As you go through the next several years, you'll focus more and more on deeper and deeper desires. Marriage, family, public service, and careers, for example. Who do you desire to be? What do you want to do? With whom do you want to spend your life? How are you going to serve the society in which we live? Rephrased somewhat, I could express these desires as desires for love, fulfillment, and significance. I want to encourage you to desire something even greater. C.S. Lewis once said of human desires this: indeed, it would seem that our Lord finds our desires to be not too strong, but too weak. We are half-hearted creatures, fooling about with drink and sex and ambition when infinite joy is offered to us. Like an ignorant child who wants to go on making mud pies in a slum because he cannot imagine what is meant by the offer of a holiday at the sea. We are far too easily pleased. That's my charge for you. Don't be too easily pleased. Infinite joy is being offered to you. The best biblical example I know regarding a desire fulfilled is Simeon. He is presented to us in the Gospel of Luke when Mary and Joseph bring Jesus to the temple in Jerusalem for his dedication. Luke tells us that he had been waiting, desiring, his whole life to see the, quote, consolation of Israel, that is, the Messiah. Luke tells us, and when the parents brought in the child Jesus to do for him according to the custom of the law, he took him up in his arms and blessed God and said, Lord, now let your servant depart in peace according to your word, for my eyes have seen your salvation, which you have prepared in the presence of all peoples, a light for revelation to the Gentiles and glory for your people, Israel. When Simeon saw that little boy who would one day be nailed to a tree of death that became a tree of life, he knew that he could leave all other things behind in peace. He had seen the salvation of the Lord for himself and for all mankind. Desire fulfilled is tree of life. Desire fulfilled is sweet to the soul. As you commence to the next stage of your young lives, desire great things, yes. But do not forget that they are important, but only pale shadows of the greatest desire of all. Infinite joy, oneness with God for an eternity. Do not be too easily pleased. And now, if you'll turn around and face the audience. You've got your tassels on the left side. Please move them over to the right side. And I am pleased to be able to introduce to you the Live Oak Academy graduating class of 2019.